Hi, welcome to Woeful Weight Loss. This is my second episode. Last week was my first episode, and I got a lot of great comments, a lot of great feedback. Thank you for the subscribers. I appreciate it. Let me give you an update. So it's been about 2.5 weeks since I recorded the first time. And that's because I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to give a few days. Normally it'd be, like I said, every first and third week I'll be posting. So we're on the third week of the month. And since the last time I lost 6.4 pounds. The upside is, I lost 6.4 pounds. The downside was I had a couple too many cheat days. So the first week I did it, I only cheated on Saturday. The second week I did it, which was last Saturday and Sunday, I cheated on both days. Honestly, what's recommended right now in most weight loss plans is you don't cheat at all at this point, or the actual one I'm using as a guideline is you only cheat once every 3 weeks, and you pick one cheat day, not 2 cheat days, so one cheat day every 3 weeks. But we'll go about that another time. So I did mention I was looking for a cardio/workout plan last week, so I did get that figured out. But on this episode, I'm going to cover macros. That was actually a couple people asked me, well, hey, you're talking about doing low carb and keeping my macros in check last week. What are macros? So there are two types of nutrients, basic nutrient groups. There's macronutrients and micronutrients. So what are micronutrients? Micronutrients are simply your vitamins and your minerals. So you got vitamins like vitamin C, all your B1 through 12, all your D vitamins, and then you got your minerals like potassium, sodium, which is salt, and calcium. So those are your micronutrients. So, some people, based on their body structure or their physical needs, will need more salt or need less salt. Maybe you have high blood pressure, or you have calcium, keep your bones up strong, that type of thing. Vitamin C, you take that for your immune system or when you get sick. So those are your micronutrients. So your macronutrients, which are focusing for diet, mostly is there's only 3 macronutrients. Your big ones are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So I'm doing a low carb version of the diet. And if you're doing a vegan diet or vegetarian diet or something else, you'd want to change these ratios altogether. But your proteins, if everyone knows the meats, people take protein supplements, especially bodybuilders take protein supplements. But there's vegetarian sources of proteins as well. There's quinoa, there's soy. So there are vegetarian options if that's the way you're going to do it. Your next one are your fats. My favorite fat is bacon fat. So I was going to mention that. Of course, there's butter. And again, there's also vegetarian ones such as coconut oil or almond oil, which are also very healthy fats. I mean, you also have your fish oils as well. The last macro is your carbohydrates. So you have your sugars, your breads, your pastas, and then there's a subcategory. I'm not going to go into it that much, but there's your fiber as well and your sugar alcohols. The reason they're a subcategory is because there is a concept called net carbs, which I'm not going to go too deeply in, but basically your body cannot digest fiber. So some people will look at the total carbohydrates on a nutritional label and subtract out the net carbs. And that's controversial alone in itself, so that's why I don't want to get too deeply into it, because I could do a whole episode just on carbohydrates and net carbs, and of course what's best for you. The basic proportion on a low carb diet, and you'll have to research whatever kind of diet. I'm going to give you the basic proportions, because if you're doing a keto diet, ketosis diet, it's a lot more strict than what I'm giving you. So depending what you're doing, if you're doing low carb, about 10 to 25% of your nutrients should come from protein. So about 10 to 25. Again, you're probably going to be closer to 10, 15 if you're on keto. Your fats, about 70 to 90% of your intake should come from fats. I know that seems counterintuitive, but that's what low carb is, because you have to get your primary source from either carbohydrates, your primary energy source for your body, either from carbohydrates or from fats, not both, because then you end up like this. So you have 70 to 90% of your intake comes from fats, and then less than 5% come from carbs. The reason I say less than 5% is because depending on your diet, some diets call for, like again, keto, it could be 20 to 50 grams of carbs per day, and on the high end, even on a low carb, you go up to 100 grams of carbs per day. And then, of course, if you're adjusting for net carbs, that's different as well. So your basic macronutrients, again, proteins, fats, carbohydrates. So that's what you need to focus on, your proportion, and you'll look up whatever diet you're following. Again, I'm doing low carb, so that's where I'm at. And the proportions are weighed or measured in grams. So when I talk about 10 to 25%, you'd look up how much, if you're really strict into tracking, there's many tracking apps, or just writing down food labels. It's the amount of grams of each of these macros. So 10 to 25% of your grams of actual physical weight come from one of these macronutrients, and you split it out that way. So, but there's a lot of apps out there that'll help you with that if you need that. And we can talk about apps too if that's a topic you want to. So that's the basic overall. Like I said, my goal is about 5 minutes per episode, so I'm going to keep that short. Let me know what you want to talk about next time. Basically, the first week of the month, I'll be posting again, or the first Saturday of the month, I'll be posting again, and then the third Saturday. So let me know what your feedback is. Let me know what you'd like me to cover, or if you'd like me to get deeper, like into net carbs, or talk about more of my workout plan or my overall meal process. I am doing meal prep for at least breakfast every day, but because if not, I'll just eat really, really poorly. And then, of course, as every YouTuber says, like, subscribe, and comment.